Hi boys, so today we're going to do a 3D tonal cube. So if you could all follow the steps that I'm going to do as close as possible, then I'm sure by the end of the lesson that you'll all have perfect cubes. It is a little bit complicated, so if at any stage you need to pause the video to just catch up to the stage and then press play, or if you'd like to watch the whole video and then play it again and stop and do the work without, whichever method you think will suit you, but don't try and do it in real time because I will do it a lot quicker than I expect you to do it in real life. So to begin with, we're going to turn our sketchbooks landscape like this, and we're going to mark in the right corner, so not on the ring band. So anywhere on the top right corner, I want you to do a cross, okay? Remember that I'm pressing a lot lighter than you are. I'm pressing a lot harder than you should be. And the reason why I'm doing that is just so that you can see it nice and clearly on the video. So at every stage, press nice and light. And we're gonna label that point VP. And VP stands for vanishing point. So we're going to get all of our angles to vanish off to that point there to make the cube look really three-dimensional. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a square in the bottom left corner. So you need to leave a little bit of a space at the bottom, and you're going to start measuring your cube around here. So for the cube, use your ruler. I'm going to leave roughly a ruler's width from the edge of the page, and I am going to do my cube 6 centimetres, so I'm going to do a nice straight line for 6 centimetres. Again, remember you're pressing a lot lighter than I am. And then along the bottom, I'm going to do 6 centimetres as well. At the top, I'm going to do 6 centimetres. And down the side. At this stage, I want you to look at your cube. Your square. Does it look accurate, or have you got angles that are going wrong? It should look a nice, straight, evenly edged, not got wonky edges, wonky lines, and it should be lighter than mine. If you've got anything that looks like this, but lighter, you're ready to do the next stage. Because my sketchbook is bigger, I'm actually going to move my vanishing point down slightly. You won't need to do this. So that is my new vanishing point. The only reason why I'm doing this is because my ruler won't join all the way up to the other one, but this one should be okay. So we're going to start off with this line here. You're going to get your ruler to match up from the centre of that mark to the edge of the corner. That's there. Take your time doing this, make sure it's perfect. You're going to go all the way up. Again, remember, lighter than me. We're going to do the same thing. Gone a bit too far up. I have to move mine down even more, sorry. We're going to do the same thing from this side. And you're going to do the same thing also from that side there, all going into the centre of the vanishing point like that. Okay. The next thing that you're going to do, so you've got a 6 centimetre line at the bottom, you're going to extend that line slightly by 4 centimetres. Okay, so from that side of the square, 4 centimetres like so. So 6 by 6 by 6 by 6, and then a 4 centimetre line from there. Match those 3 corners up to the vanishing point, and then we're going to also match up the line that we've just done, like so. Okay. Now the next part, the thing that you've got to bear in mind is parallel. So parallel means that the lines are completely opposite and they would never go closer together. They would never go further apart. We're going to do parallel lines from this front square. So the next line needs to be like that, okay? It can't be on an angle, otherwise it's going to not be parallel. So there's a little tip to do this. Put your ruler on the top of the square and it's straight. All we're going to do is we're going to lift the ruler up, okay, and we're going to draw a line across just that first 2 lines, okay, so just this part, and it should be roughly that size. That's going to be the top of your cube, okay, so like that, and then I just moved it up slightly, and then I've done a line across. Then I'm going to go onto this side, so this is the side of the cube, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now this is straight and it is vertical, so I don't want any of these angles. I need it to stay perfectly straight, and I'm just going to move it across until it touches that line that I've just done there, and I'm going to draw a line that is straight down to there. Okay, that is parallel and that is parallel, so that's good. I'm happy so far. And then we've got one more line that we need to do parallel, and that is this one. Now this is going to be the shadow of the cube. So once again, at the top of it, it's going to be horizontal, nice and straight, and we're going to go all the way up to the line that we've just done there, and we're going to go across. Okay, and now we have got a cube with some guidelines. At this stage, you can leave those lines as they are, or you might decide to just rub where they join that cube out slightly. I want you to leave the guidelines there so I can check your measuring, but if it's a little bit off-putting when you're shading your cube, then I'm quite happy if you want to just rub out the edges like that. Okay. And when I'm doing it, I like to think of numbers from the tonal grid. So remember, 0 is blank, that is your highlight. 1 is light tone. 2, mid-tone, so medium. 3 is dark mid-tone, so a darker medium tone, not as dark as it can go, and then 4 is full tone, so that's the darkest. Little tip on full tone, it should look a little bit shiny. That's when you know that there's been a lot of lead on the surface of the paper. At this point, sharpen your pencil. You want to get it as sharp as possible, so I'm just going to sharpen mine. And we also need to draw a light source. So at the moment, our light is coming from over here. So we're going to do a little sun. And we're going to do an arrow pointing towards that top part there. And because it's a lot easier to press harder than it is lighter, we're going to start off with the darker tones and we're going to gradually go lighter, and that way you're going to have more practice before you need to do the harder parts. So the first part that we're going to shade is the shadow. So you need to get your ruler on that angle there, and I want you to use the pencil, and we're going to go for 4, okay? So don't worry if it's not as dark as you can to begin with. Just want a little bit of a border using circular motions. Okay, like that. Double check it. Do you need to get it a little bit more accurate? I did, that's fine. Once you've done that, I then need you to go from a 4 to a 3. So you're going to shade the rest of it. Don't forget to use that ruler. Do a little border. I'm going lighter than I did on the left side. Okay, don't worry worry if you go too light. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to go slightly over what I've just done as well. To the top, not all the way to the top because I've got my ruler there. Then I'm going to do my ruler. Get it nice and neat. Don't think you're going to be faster if you don't use your ruler. It's not going to be faster. It's actually going to be slower, and it's definitely going to affect your accuracy. So never ever skip rulers. If I'm asking you to use a ruler, make sure you're using one. If there was a quicker way with better results, then I would be telling you to do that. This is the best way to do it. Okay? Right, so now I'm going to try and get this to blend out a little bit more. So I'm going to go back over, do another layer, get it nice and dark. Don't need to go up to the edge because we've already got border. And I'm going to bring it about halfway, and I'm going to blend it out about halfway. Blend it out. Take your time here to get this nice and smooth and get that nice and dark on the left hand side. Okay. I'm happy with that now. It's gone from a 4 to a 3. Now, the next stage that we're going to do is we're going to do this side of the cube. I want you to start off trying to do it in what would be 2. So we've got 3. If you want to do this on your page, you can do. I find it helpful. If you're new to shading, then you're going to find it helpful. 4. 2. 1. 0. So we're going for this one. Oh, what have I done here? So, border. Always do a border. Hold the very end of the pencil. We don't need to hold it any closer to the tip because we've got a ruler there to guide us, and I'm going to do big ovals. I'm going to do like this. Because I'm doing circular motions, it will just blend together. Really easy. Okay. Is that a 2? Now I've actually managed to do it a lot lighter, so I'm going to do one more layer. If yours is light, like this, we want it to be a little bit darker, so I'm just going to go all over. With one more full layer. To get this side a bit darker. Like so. Okay. Keep making a reference to this one to check if it's dark enough. It's a lot better to go lighter first and slowly build it up than to go too dark, because if you have to rub out, that's going to affect all of your accuracy, and it can also make your work look messy. So slowly build it up just like I am until you're happy. Okay, I'm happy with that. Then we're going to go into the front one. Now the front one is going to be a number 2, so it should go lighter than this one. Because we've got it dark here already, we can actually start off on the 3, as long as our ruler's along the bottom. And then slowly, with circular motions. So just leave a little bit of a gap at the top because we haven't got the ruler there. Apart from that very top edge, you can pretty much shave the whole other side like this. If you can hear that noise of it hitting the roller, it means you're going to have a nice neat edge. Even though we're doing it in a paler tone, I want you to make sure there's no white gaps between, no scratchy marks. So that's why we use the circular motion, but also that's why we need to layer. If you're getting a lot of white gaps, it's because you're moving your pencil too fast across the page. So just slow down a little bit and see if that makes it better. Right, done that part. I need to do the top. Circular motion as always. Right, now for this to look as three-dimensional as possible, this is, at the minute, a little bit pale for a 2. I want the top to be slightly darker than the bottom. So I'm going to go back up, I'm going to layer it. I don't want it as dark as this. I'm going to bring it down like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. Looks good to me. I might just do the bottom edge a little bit more. You can definitely see where it finishes. So the top and the bottom just that little bit darker. But again, definitely lighter on the side. And the last one you're going to do, because the light is hitting it here, we're just going to have a tiny bit of one fading out to nothing. So don't even need to use your ruler. Tiny little bit of one fading out to nothing. Okay, and there we have it. We have got a cube. I will just zoom in so you can have a good look. Lighting is not the best. Okay, there we go.